Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your Sunday morning as we're starting to look at July. Now, I was just talking with Ken prior to the show. For many years, one of our traditions with my friends and family, 4th of July weekend, we'd go fishing on the Columbia, basically just not far from home, and chase summer Chinook and, of course, steelhead. As it stands right now, that's not going to happen based on what we typically do, but who knows? That could change. It all falls down to what crosses what crosses the dam, and what the impacts are, right? All these little numbers that they have to come up with. So the question keeps coming up. Are they going to give us an extension or reopen the Chinook below Bonneville? I have no clue. And the folks that I kind of get info from don't either. So it's not something I would plan ahead on, but there are great opportunities on the Columbia either way, sockeye and steelhead, of course, being those options. And later on here in a bit, we're going to talk about how to target those specifically from the bank and a little bit from the boat. So there's certainly some options that are out there. We're going to get to fish counts here in a minute. But overall, reports yesterday, not great, but not bad. Most of them were coming from the Willamette down in the lower section, head of the channel area. Certainly some fish being caught. Reports are coming from there this morning. Also reports from folks that are in the lower of the Columbia, plunking, chasing sockeye and steelhead. The steelhead fishing is ridiculously good. It's all about location, though. Even if you get a bad spot, folks are getting fish. It's just one of those things you got to understand how to do it the right way. And if you can get to one of those good locations, it's relatively simple if you got the right gear and understand what it is that you're doing. Again, we'll learn more about that from Ken here in just a little bit. So this week going forward, we got some really good opportunities. Hopefully you can just get out there and take advantage of it while we have them. Let's take a look at fish count, so see how things have changed since yesterday. They have not, oh, they did, excuse me. Yesterday I kind of talked about how they actually, some of these numbers that you'll notice yesterday, the 20th was not filled in yet, hadn't been recorded because it is filmed and then they go back behind it and count them manually. So hopefully those are going to stay consistent in that mid 500s to 1,000. Still not good numbers at all going over the falls. Just means that these fish are starting to move well behind the 10-year average. Concerning to say the least. Also steelhead, nice bright spot, 22.5. Not great, but still some fish that are making it over the falls. Hopefully they're getting to the rocks. And that'd be nice to see that happen. Taking a look at Bonneville, the numbers did slide a little bit. We're not going to be able to pull up the Bonneville river level. They've been really kind of messing with that. That will kind of slow things down on specific days. But it's been between 1,500 and 1,900, and it is still behind the 10-year average. Hence one of the reasons why nobody can answer the question, do you think there'll be an opening again below Bonneville for summer Chinook? Hopefully, cross your fingers. But shad and again, sockeye just doing awesome. 200,000 that are already over for sockeye. I believe that's about half of what's forecasted. And then when you're talking about shad, it has wound down on the Willamette. If you're going to be in the Oregon City area trying to chase shad around, grass is starting to get a little bit more consistent, more common, and that doesn't make fishing for shad any easier, and those tides will mess with you as well, as you'll see here in a second with river levels. But out on the Columbia, in particular up higher close towards Bonneville, the fishing has just been ridiculous. Although this is a little bit higher on its forecast than what it was even yesterday. It was on track yesterday. It's a little bit ahead of schedule. Still great levels. You can see, though, even all the way up to the falls, that the tide is having a pretty big effect on the river itself. That will turn it around in spots, so just kind of keep that in mind. If you're going to chase shad, you need to find some current or make your own current by trolling. Turbidity went up a little bit, still nothing, gin clear really. And then taking a look over at the Columbia, same thing. It is on track though, nothing went past its forecast, so that's not a big issue. Of course, tides though, can't stress that enough right now. Tides are huge. Remember, in locations that you're going to be spending time plunking or even fishing close to the bank, with these levels, grass is going to become much, much more prevalent. And with the water on that outgoing tide, you're going to see a lot more grass starting to come down. So just keep that in mind. You're going to need to check your gear, maybe a little bit more often. Clarity as well on the fall. Still very, very clear as it stands. I prefer to see it a little bit more off color. Also, don't forget though, you can have a chance to win yourself a prize pack from Procure, thanks Procure for putting this together. Lots of requests to get back to doing giveaways here. We were the trendsetter with that back in 2008, for crying out loud. So maybe we can get back to it, but we do appreciate Steve and Jason over there helping us out with the giveaway. And yes, they pick the winner every Monday morning. Just send them an email. The more you poke and prod them, the more options you might have to actually win something. But what's this weather really going to do? I like this. You know, getting out to the truck this morning, it was actually a little wet. We got some rain, which was nice last night. But it looks like things might be starting to cool off as opposed to being into the 90s like it was this past week. I don't know about you. I can handle 90s for a little while. When we get Andy up here in a second, we'll find out what we can expect. But it looks like it's trending to get a little bit cooler this upcoming week, hopefully. As long as the sun pops out, the fish will cooperate. And Andy, what can we expect? I know that yesterday you showed that it's going to drop back down into the 70s. Is it going to happen, or are we going to stay warmer?
We're going to see mainly 70s to 80s here over the next week. We don't have any 90s in our forecast, so that'll make Owen happy, especially when he's out there plunking. You don't want it to be too hot when you're plunking. 62 degrees right now. We see some folks there on the Tillicum crossing from the Rivermark Community Credit Union campground on top of the Portland Opera Building. And yeah, we did pick up a little bit of drizzle, but Chinook Wind's beach camera right now showing a little opening in the clouds. You can see where they've picked up a little rain on that little ledge. They had some pretty heavy rain falling earlier, but getting some sun breaks out there at 58 degrees. And then we bring it back into the Columbia River. Looks like we've got a bicycle group getting ready to go for a ride. But we have mostly cloudy skies there, 61 degrees from the Maryhill Tasting Room and Bistro camera. Radar not really showing the full amount of rain that we could be picking up out there in some spots. The radar sweep is a little too high. Clouds are a little bit too low to really catch this, but we are seeing a little bit of light drizzle showing up along the north end of the Coast Range. Temperatures around the metro, we're all in the upper 50s to low 60s at this point in time. A little exception there, Sandy, where it's currently 52 degrees. Cloud rain forecast map. We watch this. Clouds will really die down, especially as we get into tomorrow. A few clouds early, but then mostly sunny across the state as we go through the day on Monday. That goes into Tuesday. We'll see some clouds and showers pop up over in central and eastern Oregon as we get into early on Wednesday morning. So the 7-day forecast, 71 today, 76 tomorrow. Back up to 85 on Tuesday, mostly sunny, 76 Wednesday. Some clouds return Thursday, maybe a sprinkle, and 72, 74 by Friday. And then Saturday should be nice, mostly sunny with temperatures going up to around 82 degrees. And Owen is a man of his word. He brought in 2 beautiful salmon fillets for me to enjoy. So thank you so much for that, Owen. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And you got to get out and do some plunking as well. You can catch your own fish. It's super easy.
We should do our own show. Plunking with Owen and Andy. There you go.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Have a great weekend. Enjoy that salmon. It's a good one.
Thanks.
All right, everyone. We're going to cut. When we come back, we're going to be joined by Ken Vellante. He's the owner of Cold Water Strong. Unquestionably makes some of the best products when you're talking about pre-rigged setups for a number of different things and countless other products that helps us be more successful when we're out chasing some fish around. So stick with us. We'll be back with that in just a couple minutes.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.